Welcome back everybody to another Jaguars in the Barn video. So today we're actually going to tackle the coolant tower and the other bits and pieces associated with that. So you can see on the workbench here, my parts have arrived. So we've got the new crossover pipe with sensor, new thermostat to go in as well while I'm there. We've got the coolant tower, the aluminium upgraded one, with its new O-Rings. Etc. And let's lay that down there. And we got a new breather hose that, if you remember on the last one, it was broken down on here and just the pipe was slid up and tied back on again. So we're going to replace that just in case of any possible damage in the future. So here she is with the new cover on from the last video. You'd have seen me put it on. If you haven't seen that one yet, please check out my last video and you'll see how it all went on, how it fitted. But just to show you again, hopefully the camera will pick it up, the amount of dirt that's fallen on the car in the last sort of few days since I've been down here. I mean, it's literally everywhere. So for less than £20, I think a very worthwhile investment, in my opinion. So yeah, it seems to have done its job. So what we're going to do today, so we're going to get the cover off, pop the bonnet. I'll put the bonnet up into service mode. Hello. I'll put the bonnet up into service mode and then we'll start assessing it and see which would be the best way to take everything off in order to make it easiest for us to put it all back together again. So I'm going to start doing that. So bear with me. I'm going to get the cover off, get the bonnet open, and then we can have another look at what's going on. So let me get that sorted out and I'll be right back. We'll just give it a quick brush off. There's a brush. Just quickly, just to get the worst of the rubbish off. Okay. Try and roll it back to make it as easy as possible to put back on again. Okay, we can leave that there like that. Right. Let's have a look. So this is the pipe we've bought to replace this one. This is where it's broken. You can see the sharpness of the angle is totally gone. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then with the light on, you can see where it's had years and years of slow leaks. You can see that offending bolt with the backlet down the bottom. That's going to be the biggest challenge for today. Still not sure how we're going to approach it. We'll work it out as we go. And I've got this new one of those and a new crossover just in case. So we'll pop the bonnet up into its service mode, which is just by undoing these clips here. And then we can push the strut off, lay it down, lift the bonnet up. And once we lift the, obviously on both sides, and then when we lift the bonnet up, we'll see the hole down here. That will line up with to sit just above the hinge to hold it in place. So it's a two-handed job. So let me do that and I'll come back. Right, so that's the bonnet up in its service mode. As you can see, we just lifted the bonnet right up. You can see how vertical it pretty much goes. And all I've done on the other side is popped a bolt through that hole, which rests on top of this hinge lever here. If I just show you quickly. There we go. Just to stop it from falling back on itself. It's very simple to do. Here's the piston. Runs up from the inner wing. And on the head, obviously there's the hole that connects to the ball on the bonnet. It's just got a little metal spring clip here. You've got there, see the tab underneath it. Just get a screwdriver up in there. It pulls this away. That allows you just to pop it off. So it's pretty straightforward. And it takes a couple of seconds. So right, let's get on with it. First thing I'm going to do is actually drain the coolant out. Now, I don't want to make a massive mess and pull off a big hose to start off with. So I'm going to open up the cap here, open up the cap on the tank, and I've got a large sort of 200cc or 200ml syringe, and I'm just going to suck as much as I can out just to try and limit the amount of spillage we're going to get. So let me get that set up. That'll be the first job ticked off the list. So I'm going to start off with the expansion tank. If I can undo it. There we go. There we go. And all I'm going to do with my syringe is just carefully draw out as much fluid as I can. I've just got an old container here, an old milk container. I'll just pump it into there. We'll just get out as much as we can this way. I can get right down to where the hose is. So I'll continue doing that until I get as much fluid out as I can, and then we'll come back and start disassembling. So we've got a lot of the fluid out from the expansion tank. What I'm going to try and do now is crack open the cap on the old coolant tower itself. So for that I've got an Allen key. As I said there, HW10, which appears to fit. So let's see how we go. Gently, gently. There we go. few threads on that. What's that, 2 or 3 turns to come off? Well, that's encouraging. At least we haven't got sort of too dirty coolant. A little bit brown, maybe a bit dirty, but we're going to replace a lot of it anyway. So I'll get my syringe down in there. I'm going to try and do this in a cleaner way as possible. As I say, I don't want to spill too much out, but particularly on the top section here, it means I can just disconnect this hose and attempt to get at the crossover pipe again without losing too much. And the fluid's nice and pink, which again is also encouraging. Right, so I've got quite a bit of the coolant out there now. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with the hose here. We'll take that one off. This has still got its factory clips on there. So we should just be able to pop, if you can see that hopefully, pop a screwdriver in to where the clip joins, it says. There we go. Just lever it off. Let's pull that away. Hopefully you can see that my hand's in the way. Right, we're going to reuse that clip. So we'll take that off. I'll just pop them down here, safe out of the way. It should be the same on this side. There we go, hopefully you saw that. My big hand's in the way. I'm just going to start it away just with the screwdriver, just gently around the rubber. So as it's being replaced. Just wanted to put as less stress on the expansion tank as possible. So just hold it firm. And there we go. One pipe off, and hopefully there you can see the difference. If I get the new one, this is the part number for it. Hopefully we can focus in on that. So it's a genuine Jaguar Land Rover part. And if I put the two pipes next to each other, so here's the new one, and this is the one I've just taken off. Put the hose down in the same position. You can see how much of the plastic has broken away. You know, if the pipe was there, that. So it's probably happened more than one occasion. But we'll pop these over to the side for a moment. And just to help with access, we're going to remove the pieces of trim cover from the engine. They just pop up, lift up out of the way. I'll do the same on this side. Just some gentle pressure, lifting up and out at the same time, if that makes sense. That can just give us a better view of what we're going to be doing. So this pipe here, a couple of 8mm bolts by the look of it. Yeah, someone's definitely been in here before, look. Got some kind of silicone sealant. So yeah, we've got an 8mm bolt here and one just underneath there. Hopefully you can see that. And the same just on this side. One above and one below. So the new crossover pipe comes with a new sensor. So I haven't got to worry about trying to take this sensor out. So we'll just disconnect the electrical connectors. This one's already come away. If you remember a few videos back, I replaced this sensor and this was already broken away. It should be fitted here on the coolant tower, but it's already broken away, so that's not going to be an issue. So I think we'll start. There's another electrical connector here that's also come away. So they're out my way. If I disconnect this one, we'll move that. I'm not sure if I better do it with one hand. Probably not. This will be just a little tab in here. There we go. That was easy enough. And we can just wiggle that around. If you're well, just keep it out of the way. Right, so I think what we'll do next is we'll take this hose off and see if I can get my syringe into these pipes, get a bit more fluid out. So let's get that set up. I've got these hose pliers here. You can see it's cupped in one end. And you've got like a V tooth in the other. So we can get a good grip. So the cup end goes into the tang, the V part goes onto the flat blade of the clip, squeeze together, and they actually lock in place. So it's a real great tool. Now, again, I'm going to be reusing these clips. So I'm just going to slide them up into the middle. Just press the release lever. Just move it a little bit further back. And we'll do the same on this side. Release the locking lever. And while I'm here, I may as well do this hose. It's the same, just got a water hose clamp on there. So I'm expecting some coolant to come out, obviously. There we go. In fact, I may as well just go around and release all of these hoses. Now the hoses themselves seem to be in pretty good nick, the big ones. They don't bulge up or anything when we're running. And that one's going to give me some grief, I can tell already. Let me just slide this one out of the way and I can see if I can get in there. Okay, I'm just going to work just around the hose, being careful, just to loosen it off. And then just gently tease it away. And again, we'll just put him out of the way somewhat. You can go over there. Wait. There you go. Right, stay there. Okay, now hopefully I'll be able to get in there, am I? I think the sensor's going to be... No, I'm going to have to take this one off for that. So if I try, hopefully, I've got some coolant in there, not a lot. So in fact, all I'll do, I'm going to get my container. I'm just going to syringe that out from there. Yeah, just trying to work as cleanly as possible. Like so. I'll just decant in, as I say, in an old milk container. Yeah, please, it's all nice pink fluid. That's very encouraging. So I've got no real staining, brownness, dirty fluid, and no contaminants like oil. So I've not got that milky froth you'd expect. Got some contamination in there. I might have said in a previous video, I used to have an X308 XJR, and the head gasket on that went in like the first week or so of ownership, which I ended up rebuilding because the costs at a garage were just astronomical, thousands. So I just thought, you know, it's only nuts and bolts. What's the worst that can happen? So I bought the kit, the tools, just methodically over a couple of days, stripped it down and repaired it myself. And yeah, you can see obviously in that one, it was disgusting, the coolant. The engine had hydro-locked with the water had got inside the air, so right mess. So this one, the face of it, is just a leaky tower. Let's get right down in there, get as much as we can. There we go. Now we're going to let the system bleed itself out when we're all done. So hopefully those that are concerned with creating airlocks, hopefully it's not going to be a problem. I may be wrong, obviously. All right, put that down. So if I just lower that down out of the way, there's no reason really why I can't start unbolting from there. So we'll get the socket set out and we'll try and get the crossover pipe removed. That gives us a bit more space. So let me set the camera up for that and we'll go ahead. So I've got my camera hopefully in a good position, overhead shot. We'll see how we go. If the camera starts drooping, I'll try and attend to it, but let's give it a crack. So we want an 8mm socket, a spanner, just going to gently, nice and gentle, work these loose. That one was easy enough. Let's hope the others are kind to us. And success. First one out. I'll just do this on the top one, then I'm going to have to switch to socket on an extension, I think. Gently, gently. There we go. quite ready yet. Just keep going with the spanner. All right, so get me socket. There we go. Just an 8mm socket and a small extension bar. And stick them on out. And hopefully we're going to be able to get down, squeeze my head in the way. There we go, we're on. There we go. Move the socket out of the way. And by all means, you know, try to fast forward past these parts. But I just thought I'd show you as much as I possibly can. There we go. Third one. And I think this one's going to be a challenge. Just try not to put too much pressure on this pipe. I want to put a crease in it. Okay, we're on. Lovely. Again, we take off the socket. And this is where I'm expecting water to come out. But we'll see how we go. There's the last one. So, let's just gather up our tools and see. Just gently, gentle pressure. Yeah, we've got a little bit of fluid loss to be expected. There we go. Voila. There's the pipe off. A little bit dirty inside. Kind of to be expected over the years. Rubbers actually still feel quite soft and subtle. I'm not sure why they put sealant on there, but we've obviously had some non-coolant in it over the years. We've got a build-up of calcium and other deposits inside the plastic. For that part, relatively straightforward. So let's put that down out of the way. Right, so I think we'll go for the hose again now. Just got to get in there. If you haven't got a pair of these pliers, I recommend them. They're not expensive. They're only a few pounds, probably less than a tenner. I've got another pair which has this part on a extendable cable. So you've got the grips, and the cable comes off to the head, so you can get down into awkward places. But really good bits of kit. So again, I'm expecting to lose a bit of water. I'll keep the hose as upright as I can. Okay, And again, I don't want to put too much pressure on the hose. Just want to try and keep them out of the way, really. Right. Let's just make some room for ourselves. Give ourselves as much room as possible. Just move everything out of the way. Look at that. It's come in handy. Right. So this is the bit that catches everybody out because you physically can't get on the back nut down there. But let's get off as much as we can, just so we can have a proper look at it all. Again, I've got a new one of these hoses, but I'm going to keep the clips because like that and like that. Off you come. Move you out of the way. So we can get down to these two front ones easily. Set one loose. To be honest, I could probably do with an extension on this extension or a longer extension. We'll see how we go for a minute before I have to go back up and get some more tools. What I don't want to do at this stage is drop anything down, especially around the pulleys. There we go. First one out. Let's go to the other side. There we go. It's a satisfying sound. Just undo that clip for a minute, just so I can put it the other side of that. There we go. And again, we want to get this out without dropping. Oh, just joking. Right, there it is. The other bolt. And now I'll grab my camera. Excuse me, shoddy filming. Right, down the back there. These are the problems. That one, well, I might get access onto that, but we're going to see. On that one, the where are you gone? There you go. It's just too close to get the head of anything on. So let me just assess the situation. I'll come back when I've found a solution, and we'll go through it together. So I've just been in here just trying to get yourself a bit more access, and I've taken the thermostat off. Someone's clearly been in there to do the thermostat, because the 3 holes on the flange that hold the thermostat in, I had one standard bolt down here, which was threaded into the plastic, which is correct. This was a 8mm nut and bolt. That was a 10mm nut and bolt. So yeah, I dare say it's had a thermostat in its life. But over here, I've taken it out. And there she is. So again, the rubber's pretty supple. You can see the bolt stuck in there, look. And the threaded insert has clearly come away. So yes, obviously had a thermostat. A bit brown, but not covered in gunk, which is, you know, to be expected. We've got a new one, which is good. Now, some of the videos and information I've seen, or not videos, but some of the information I've read, I've got these bolts down here, 5 on each side. Which hold the inlet manifold on. Was it me, or was that one not look particularly factory compared to the others? What's on the underside of that? Can't feel it. Or on this side. They all seem the same. Nice in uniform. Maybe they've just lost that bolt. I don't know, but that's a concern. So it's either undo that, or I've been told by a fair few people, just break it off. And then I'll be able to get in there with a spanner. So let me inspect the tower, and then we'll come back to filming. Right, so I've decided I'm going to go for the unbolt this scenario. I think it's my preferred method, because I can use the factory bolts to put the new one down as well. So what I'm going to do is just get my 10mm socket. I think they're 10mm. Yeah, that one definitely is. I'm just going to crack them all off for now. One. Two. Right. Let me get my bigger socket bar. Okay, so new plan. I'm a bit dubious about that bolt. It's probably factory, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to go with the old sort of Crowfoot's method. So I have already pre-bent 8mm, which, if I remember rightly, is from when I did the similar procedure on my XJR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that on. I've got a spark plug spanner for a socket to go on there, and we're going to give it a go. So wish me luck. So let's start with this. Get that on. Socket on. And let's see what happens. Oh, we're moving. Hello. Oh, look at that. That has cracked it. Now, the thing is, it's whether it's going to lift up past the inlet manifold. So they're quite long bolts. But I'm sure I did this on my XJR similarly. I know the setup's slightly different on the XJR, but I'm sure I was faced with a similar dilemma from memory. But we are going back about 6 years, and I'm getting old, so. Wow. Still undoing. I know undoing the bolt's not good watching, but bear with. Feel free to fast forward. Do you know what I think? Just can't get my head in there. Right, let's leave that for now. Let's go across to the other side. And let's hope we can have the same result. Is that on? Okay. Let's get this light. Okay, wish me luck. Gently, gently. Yes! Get in. Now what I'm going to do when I reassemble is see if I've got some Allen headed bolts just to make this part a bit easier. So I hope you can see my filming. I'm doing it on my phone and the screen's on the back side of it and it's sort of strapped up under the bonnet, so I can't see what you can see. So it's all dark and out of focus. My sincerest apologies. Ah, yes. Oh, you need a tripod for everything, don't you? So it's fallen down anyway. Let's try and see if that will work. I know this ain't going to be great viewing. So let me just work on these. And then we'll come back and start the video again. So I've been spanning away for a good 4 minutes or so, maybe 5 minutes. I think this side here is loose, ready to come out. If I carefully extract that, that blinds me with a torch. Another one. And the other side, I think it's probably nearly there. All close. And I hope you can see it all right. It's so close to this inlet manifold. And the trouble is, because they're like what I describe as mushroom headed bolts, or like an upside down mushroom, they've got like a built-in base washer, flat base to them. That's what catches underneath this front portion of the manifold. Is that out? too close. And making it a little bit more awkward. Yes, it needs to be. Right. Don't drop. Yes. Right, let's pop him over there. A moment of truth. One coolant tower. A bit gunky. But nothing too horrendous. So I think overall it's not in bad condition. But the trouble is you're just never sure where the leaks are going to be. You know, was it from the hose that they kept replacing on here? From this hose? Could there be a crack in the plastic? So in my mind, for what it costs to replace, I think it's a good idea. Right. So what we're going to do now, break for lunch, because it is 8 minutes past 2. And then we're going to come back and clean everything up and get it ready to install the new ones. So I'm going to see if I've got a couple of Allen header bolts to replace those 2 rears to make my life a bit easier. If not, it's just going to be a reverse of what we've done. So we shall resume after lunch. Bye for now.